Welcome to Anything Maths. If you find this video helpful, by all means give it a thumb up. This is the second part of solving examination type of question on the topic indices. Let's get right into it. Now, before I go through the questions, I would suggest that you find yourself a piece of paper, pen or pencil, pause the video and work out the questions. Having done that, play the video and check your answer with the solution on the screen. Why? Because this will help you to enhance your understanding of the topic, and also you prepare yourself for your examination. Let's really solve the first question. It says find the value of 125 raised to the power 1/3. We can write this as the cubic root of 125. And the cubic root of 125 is 5. The second, find the value of 64 raised to the power of negative 1/3. By the law of indices, we can write this as 64, 1 over 64 raised to the power positive 1/3. And we can also write it as 64 raised to the power 1/3. And this becomes 1 over the cubic root of 64. The cubic root of 64 is 4. Going to have 1 over 4. So find the value of 8x raised to the power 6, all raised to the power 2 over 3. Now, removing the bracket, we're going to have 8 raised to the power 2 over 3. And we're going to have x raised to the power 6 times 2 over 3. We're going to have 8 raised to the power 3, 2 over 3, x raised to the power 4. The cubic root of 8 all squared, x raised to the power 4. The cubic root of 8 is 2, so 2 all squared times x raised to the power 4. And finally, 2 raised to the power 2 is 4. We're going to have 4x raised to the power 4. With 8 over 27 all raised to the power negative 2 over 3 can be written as 27 all over 8 raised to the power positive 2 over 3. This is so important. We can also write this whole thing as the cubic root of 27 over 8 all raised to the power 2. And finally, we can also write this as the cubic root of 27 all over the cubic root of 8, everything raised to the power 2. In the bracket, the cubic root of 27 is 3, and the cubic root of 8 is 2, and everything will be raised to the power of 2. And this will give us 3 raised to the power of 2 and 2 raised to the power of 2. And finally, we're going to have 9 over 4. Applying the same method, we're going to write 9 raised to 1 over 4 raised to the power of negative 3 over 2 becomes 4 over 9 raised to the power 3 over 2. And we can confidently write that the square root of 4 over the square root of 9 all raised to the power 3. The square root of 4 is 2 and the square root of 9 is 3, all raised to the power 3. By the law of indices, we can write 2 raised to the power 3 and 3 raised to the power 3, 8 over 27. Next question. This question is a little bit tricky, and most of the time you will not be working with calculators, so you have to be learn how to use your timetables really well. 16 times 4 will give us 64, and as a result we can write this whole thing as the cubic root of 64 times 10 raised to the power 15. We can also separate this, so it's going to be cubic root of 64 times the cubic root of 10 raised to the power 15. Cubic root of 64 we know is 4. The question though is, what about the cubic root of 10 raised to the power 15? Suppose we don't know, so we say that number is 10 raised to the power x. If it's 10 raised to the power x, we have to multiply 10 raised to the power s by itself 3 times. So 10 raised to the power x times 10 raised to the power x times 10 raised to the power x should give us 10 raised to the power 15. We know that this will be 10 raised to the power 3x should be equal to 10 raised to the power 15. It means x must be 5. Okay, so from there we've been able to know that this will give us 10 raised to the power 5. The question says find the value. So having found them, you multiply. So the answer will be 4 times 10 raised to the power 5, which will give you 400,000. The next question is, we can write root 3 as 3 raised to the power half. So we have 3 times 3 raised to the power half should be equal to 3n. By the law of indices, we can write 3 raised to the power 1 plus half, so to 3n. And we're going to have 3 raised to the power 2, 3 over 2, 3n. It means n should be 3 over 2. Given that 3 times root 27 is equal to 3 raised to the power n, you're supposed to find n. We can rewrite the equation as 3 times 27 raised to the power half should be equal to 3 raised to the power n. We can then also write 27 as a power of 3. So 3 times 3 raised to the power 3 all raised to the power half should be equal to 3n. And it becomes 3 times 3 over 2 is equal to 3n. Remember, most of these questions, you're not supposed to be using calculators. The next step will be 3 raised to the power 1 plus 3 over 2. And this also 3 raised to the power n. Doing the sums, we're going to get 3 raised to the power 5 over 2 should be equal to 3 raised to the power n. Now 3 will equal to that, so n will be 5 over 2. I really like these sort of questions because it tests your understanding of the subject and the topic as well. You've been given x equal to 2 raised to the power p and y 2 raised to the power q. Express in terms of x and y of the following. By the law of indices, we can write this as 2 raised to the power p times 2 raised to the power q. And as a result, we can write x times y. When we simplify, we're going to get xy. The next one, we can express this 2 raised to the power 2p as 2 raised to the power p times 2 raised to the power p. We know that 2 raised to the power p is x, so x times x, and that will give us x squared. We can also write this as 2q raised to the power q divided by 2, which is equal to 2 raised to the power q divided by 2. 2 raised to the power q is y divided by 2. So you've been able to express what you've been given in terms of x and y. I love these sort of questions. Given that 3 raised to the power n is equal to 0.2, you are now supposed to evaluate 3 raised to the power n squared. So first of all, I'll convert this 0.2 to a fraction. That will give me 1 over 5. And as a result, I can confidently write 3 raised to the power n is the same as 1 over 5. By the law of indices, I can also write 1 over 3 raised to the power positive n should be equal to 1 over 5. The next, applying the law of indices, I can write 1 over 3 raised to the power n should be equal to 1 over 5. Using algebra, I can also write 3 raised to the power n is equal to 5. So this is really important. That's not the answer. But you've been able to know what 3 raised to the power n is 5. The question though is, you're supposed to find the value of 3 raised to the power n all squared. But we know that 3 raised to the power n is 5. So it means we have to square the 5 as well. And the answer will be 25. The next one is just like what we've done. we convert this 0.5 to a half. And therefore, we can write 1 over 5 all raised to a positive n is the same as half. And we can write 1 over 5 raised to the power n is the same as half. Using algebra, we can say that 5 raised to the power n is 2. And this is really important. So we know what 5 raised to the power n is. We've been asked to find the value of this. So we then do the substitution. 5 raised to the power n, all raised to the power 3. Instead of 5n raised to the power n, we put 2 there. And we cube it. It is the same as 2 raised to the power 3. And that will give us 8. Given that 4 raised to the power n is equal to 8, find n. Looking at the right hand side, we see 8 there. But we cannot express 8 as a power of 4. However, we can express 8 as a power of 2. And we can express 4 as a power of 2 as well. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We have 4. 2 times 2 will give us 4. So 2 times 2 will be 4. So 4 can be written at 2 raised to the power 2. We have 8. 2 times 4 will give us 8. 2 times 2 will give us 4. So 8 can be written as 2 raised to the power 3. This information is so important. And as a result, we can do some adjustment to the question. We can write, instead of 4, we're going to write 2 raised to the power 2, all raised to the power n. And instead of writing 8, we then write 2 raised to the power 3. By the law of indices, we can also write 2 raised to the power 2n should be equal to 2 raised to the power 3. We have this is equal to that. So 2n should be equal to 3. Divide both sides by 2. So 2n divided by 2. Right at 2. These 2 will cancel these 2. We're going to have n should be equal to 3 over 2. Please don't try to convert your answer into decimals. I've seen a lot of students doing that. It's a waste of time. You're not going to get any special mark for it. Just move on to the next question to save some of your time in the examination. This is the last question for this video and part 2. Given that 4 raised to the power negative n is equal to 32, we cannot express 32 as a power of 4. So we're going to express it as a power of 2. We know that 4 can be written as 2 raised to the power 2. And 32, let's find out how we can get 32. We have 2 times 16 will give us 32. 2 times 8 will give us 16. 2 times 4 will give us 8. 2 times 2 will give us 4. How many 2's? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It means 32 is the same as 2 raised to the power 5. Then we do a little bit of alteration, isn't it? So instead of writing 4, we're going to write 2 raised to the power 2, all raised to the power n, should be equal to 2 raised to the power 5. And this becomes 2 raised to the power negative 2n. Here we go to 2 raised to the power 5. We got 2 here, and therefore we can write negative 2n should be equal to 5. Divide both sides by negative 2 in order to find n. Divide by negative 2. And this will cancel that. These two will cancel that. And we're going to get n should be equal to negative 5 over 2. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumb up and also subscribe to my channel so that whenever I upload a new video, you are going to be notified. And keep learning and practicing maths.